Hey, this is Colt from Spit and Tax. We started this boat, remember? We got those other two done back there. Well, they're not done. They have to be upholstered. This is all about how I do things. And I know they're mundane. So once again, please forgive me if I'm not moving quick enough or saying the right things. You know, I try to, get right after it. I had a subscriber say too much BS. I apologize. Okay, videos, I'm trying to do videos, but I'll get better, I promise, and keep watching. So, no BS today. Let's get to work. All right, we got Jesus, good attitude, and we are in the shop. So, what we did was I've already went over all of this. The only thing I didn't do was show you how to sew down anchors, okay? So they're just good side to good side. You sew your panels together, whether they have swooshes or anchors or this, or I mean, not anchors, but different dimensions and geometries. So what you do is as you sew these panels together, you sew this one and this one together, and then sew on your anchor, okay? These give it its definition. So you sew on your anchors, and I do little relief cuts around the top, okay? I know this, I sped forward. If you have any questions about this, I'm glad to answer them. But you sew them together. You start with 2, sew them together, fold them in good side to good side, and then sew on. It's usually 3.5 inches for an anchor. And you can see how they fit in these slots on here. You see that? Okay. So, in the meantime, you're going to run into things like this. If you look at this over here, if you come over here, I'll show you. If you look on the back, you'll see where. Would you grab me one of those right there, and we'll show them what that meant. That little silver thing right there, right there. Okay, now these are anchors. This anchors the seat into the boat. So that's what that is. And it has a series of little twisty hooks, and you pound those in. So if you look here, he had one that was like, some of them are rusted, but the grooves are still good. I went through them all. They're good. That's good. You'll see where I replaced one? You see that? I replaced one, and then I replaced, there's another one I replaced in here. There's 2 I replaced. Right there. That's the second one I replaced. He had a post that was in there, and they rust out. So, you have to be mindful of that. You keep all your hardware together always, okay? So this is what happened with his piece. You see that stud? It broke. He couldn't get it out because it rusted into that fixture. Okay? So just a little thing. You have to replace those. You can get these anywhere. Home Depot. It doesn't have to be an upholstery store. Everybody has them. But keep your stuff orderly, like I've always said to you. So we're here now. I just sewed this together, and you'll see the scrim on the back. But when you do boat seats, okay, notice the foam around the edge of the boat. If this is fine, you don't need scrim on your gusset, okay? This is a gusset. This goes around the edge of the skin, So you don't need that. It is absolutely unnecessary. And too much bulking. It might not fit. It might be too Michelin Man to slip down, from the gunwales. It might not fit. So always just go straight cold turkey and marine upholstery, of course, because I told you that this wasn't the original. So, and steam it out. And this is a steamer. Okay, this is a good one to have. You steam out your foam. Okay, and then you come through and you spray silicone down in the edges. Okay, where all these pieces that you just sewn together meet. You know, I already did it, but you just kind of go down in the middle like that, okay? You give it a good thing. So, I already did it. And I sprayed the underside of the skin. So in this application, when you use scrim, and you know I'm a scrim weirdo, I use it every time I do the top of a boat seat, because it just, you can already see how pillowy it looks, and it hasn't even went into the anchor points. So this design here, there's an anchor underneath there, there's an anchor underneath there, and there's an anchor underneath there, okay? That's how you adjust this. And I don't care how long you've been sewing, you're gonna see a couple little wrinkles when you glue scrim to this, but as you anchor it down, these vanish. This is what this is. That's why I wanted to make this video, okay? Or what'd that guy say? No BS. So, no BS. Okay, I got your BS. I got you. So, you line it up, and as you'll see, this is an anchor that goes down into these cut out pieces of foam. And you'll see that I have them marked, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just everything. Someone said, why do you mark the back of it when you know there's foam going over it? It's just as you go. Get into the habit of marking it so you don't get lost. That's all I meant by that. I know that's mundane. And I've told you, this is mundane. This is repetitive over and over and over. This is upholstery online. Okay, so yeah, of course. Yeah, this is, you know, like torturous. Oh my God, I'm going to fast forward through this. But I don't recommend you do that. So what I did do on this, for him, my friend Ron, and Ron, call me. After you get this video, call me. Notice my top stitch. We had someone ask about my sewing. Look at this. See if you can zoom on that, dear. It's as good as it gets, okay? And that's everywhere, all the way around. However, on his boat, the other seat that's on the other side of the table there, there was no top stitching, but this seat had failed. This is going to look great. I know he's going to love it. A lot of the other stuff isn't top stitched. But these back seats, the stern of the boat, this is going to look aesthetically beautiful. This is what you crawl in and out of when you're skiing or you're boogie boarding or whatever. Okay, so moving forward, I just wanted to show you that top stitch and try to get back to work so there's no BS. Oh God, I'm gonna be saying that forever. But I love you, bro. I love constructive criticism. If I talk too much, I'm sorry. Videos, I'm getting better at them. So anyway, I know what I'm doing, clearly. Okay, now when you do this, it will reveal itself to where when you see these anchors, they fit down in these slots. So there's a way to do this. You want to start to where you can either work your way away from you or towards you. I prefer to work my way towards myself. And what you do to, like, you'll see I push this and any kind of blemish goes away. So what I like to do in this instance, in this pattern, is you can look and see it's your old staples that were down in there. You can see where they were stapled. Okay, but don't rely on them solely. So we're going to use 3/8 inch crown, 3/8 inch leg, and we're going to start here. But as we do it, we're gonna anchor this side here. Okay, we're going to get right to the end. We're going to line everything up and get a good look at it. Okay, and then peel it back. And then these anchors, always sew them to the outside, okay? And if you have to, which you will, you can relief cut them to where they can accommodate the look you're looking for, okay? Because you don't want your corners to dive. You want it to be all flat. And if it does have to tuck down, which it will, because this is only 3.5-inch gusset that goes around the base. The staples around the bottom. Uniform. You're looking for uniform aesthetics. And when you're doing these swoosh patterns and they dive into the foam, you're gonna adjust. So this is where the upholstery comes in. Finally, we get to do an upholstery video. Everything else is prep. I didn't even put you through all this. It would be torture. So what you do, okay, again, you grab yourself, I know I'm jumping around, sorry about the BS. You grab yourself a little paper towel and some rubbing alcohol and run it down your hose, okay? Run it down your hose, because what color are we working with? We're working with colors that mar. I've already cleaned it once, but even, yeah, that's pretty clean. So whatever you're working with, and then suspend it, you know, all the way to where if this happens to lay down on here, it's not going to mar this. Like I said, this is expensive. This is $26.50 a yard. So, yeah. Okay, so you line everything up around the edges. You fold your gusset over, just so it stays stationary, and you line it all up, okay? Make sure you have your relief cuts, because it has to dive down in there. And then we'll start on this, okay? So on this side, we are going to relief this, fold this back. You see that cut, that swoosh, right? That's this, okay? And we that's why, remember I say always 1/2-inch sew allowance. Why? Because look at that. I sewed on to my sew allowance, these two pieces, these two panels, an anchor, okay? So you need that 1/2 of an inch, industry standard. Come back here, we line it up, we get a good eyeball on everything, we're good up here. I like how it sits, I like how this edge sits, I like how this edge, well, we'll scooch it back just a little bit, okay? So you line it up, you're working this when you go to do this, and then all of this will pull and tug and staple down and lay flat. So here's our first one. It reveals itself. We're gonna come down in there about, I don't know. I'm gonna take this and fold it under my foam, okay? All the way back, fold it under my foam, under my foam, under my foam. Okay, I'm lifting that up. And I'm gonna lay that flat. Okay. So I'm gonna come back over here and look. Give it a, look at that. You see, this is the distinction that you're looking for. You're looking for those thump, thump, thump. And then that scrim on top that I believe in solely gives you that depth. Gives you that, you know, it just dives down in. So look at that. You're like, okay, I like it. I like it. You come up to your margins there. Okay. So I'm gonna come and I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna push it down and see where it is. And I'm gonna fold it back. And you can use a long nose stapler if you don't have one of these. This is probably a good application for this. So what we're gonna do is, as you'll see the indifference, they're the same, but they're not. You see how one's longer than the other? This is a long nose. So we're gonna use the long nose. We're gonna put the bia down and pick up the mete. And we're gonna use the same size staples. Always check them. Make sure you don't need that big long one in there. So, and this is the same inch, 3-inch crown and 3-inch leg. So this will help you get down in there, you know, and make sure that your hose isn't kinked up. It's behind you. See that? See how smooth that is? Boom, 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 boom. Nothing's going to get caught up. You don't need that. So once again, you come around, you find your depth, and you're going to continue with this depth as you move along. You want to keep it at the same. So I like this. And how you choose your depth is where the edge of your gusset rides, okay? We know that this is 3.5 inches long. We have to come down quite a bit. So I'm not gonna go too terribly deep. This is key right now. Don't go crazy deep, just enough. Look at that, just enough to get that accent there. Okay, and then that one will give it. Because if you look up here, we're gonna need that 3/4 of an inch to come around there. And that's how the original one sat. It comes down all the way. So 3/4 of an inch, boom, boom. But we come to the back, okay? It's something that you'll get eventually. You will become accustomed to what it looks like. So we're gonna bring it down. We're gonna fold our anchor in all the way to the end of this, piece of wood. Okay, so you see how that dove down in there? Okay, so we're anchoring that side, and this is a tricky piece, so I just lined it up, so I'm going to undo that. I'm going to come back over here, and then I'm going to walk through this, and I'm going to keep it the same distance. And you can see, you start there on that end, okay? You start there on that end. And a good rule of thumb is 1/2 inch under the edge of the relaxed foam, and then you won't get lost, okay? So I look, and that's, bring it up a little bit, come down with my long nose, 1, tack, and pull, okay? Tack and pull. Because why? Because we want to make sure that this all lays flat. So see, when we come over here, now this is gonna pull out that way. You see how that lays flat? That's what you're looking for. And then this one will come up. It's all to your right, your left, but when you're doing the field, start on one end in this application like this, anchor that side, and then remember 1/2 inch on the relaxed foam on top, you start working your way down. Okay, so I'm only gonna come to about here, and then I'm gonna come back to this side, and then see how I pull this. You see how that starts to change? Yes, I'll pull this, and then I'll anchor this side anchor down, okay? And then I'll, as I start to staple, I'll pull and tug, which will bring all of this flat. So these are principles that you want to use. I know that's a lot, but always just think of a rectangle. I'm gonna start at my right rectangle. It doesn't matter how many swooshes you have in the middle. 1/2 inch from the top, standard eye vision, to where you know where to anchor. So you don't have to, totally worry about readjusting. Only go 20 inches and then come to this side and then adjust this side. And always remember your perimeter, okay? You have 3.5 inches. You don't want to over adjust in the middle to where you come up short and it isn't uniform around the edges. So you do the middle first on an application like this. So, I know that's a lot, but I had to share this with you, okay? You're asking questions. No BS. So, I'm Colt from Spit and Text Upholstery. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you around like a donut.